Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today is November 5th, 2025. Welcome to another session of In the Zone Trader. Today is day 3 of the Prop Firm Challenge. We bought a brand new 50K eval on Monday, and we're currently up on that account $577. You could see it at the top left corner of your screen. And so what we're going to do over the next coming weeks is pass this Prop Firm Challenge or eval, turn it into a paid account, and take multiple payouts. So hopefully you guys will see all that in real time. And the idea behind it is you guys can learn more about prop firms, learn how they work, how you can risk very little of your own income, your own money, to get access to a decent capital to trade with, especially if you're a beginner. So hope you guys had a good week so far. We're right smack in the middle of it today on Wednesday. And we're excited to trade. So we're going to be trading two systems. If you've been following my stream for the last week or so, we're going to be trading the 1024 tick chart with 5 micro for the NQ. So the MNQ, the first half of the stream. And then the second half of the stream, we will be transitioning and trading on the NinZaRenko charts that look like this. We're about 6 minutes before market opens. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart on the Nasdaq and see where we're at. So you could see yesterday was a huge flush of a day, but look at where we are bouncing from. Overnight, we went ahead and we tested the low of that 1024 candle, and buyers have since stepped in and brought it back up. We are potentially opening today where we closed yesterday. We are above the 21 exponential moving average on the daily, so we could potentially see some form of a bullish bounce today, potentially going all the way up and testing this zone here. See if I can draw it for you guys. Potentially this zone here. We can come back up and test this area. Nothing is guaranteed, obviously, but we do have some news today. We have news at 9:45 in about 20 minutes for the final services PMI. That's a yellow folder event. So if you guys recall, yellow folders is low volatility. But we do have a red folder event, which is high volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. today. It's ISM Services PMI. We have about 4 minutes before market opens. If you guys are interested in learning more about prop firms or you want to get signed up, I do have a link in my description below. It's with my favorite prop firm provider, Apex Trader Funding. And if you click on that link, it is an affiliate link. I am affiliated with Apex. You'll get the best discount they have available. And you would certainly help the stream and help me out big time. You can also use the coupon code ZONE, ZONE, on the Apex website when you're checking out to get the best discount that they have available at the moment. They run multiple sales across the year that vary in discount rates. Let's go back to the 1024 tick chart. We're currently had this bearish move here that triggered a hit target. Runner has stopped out, and now you're in this current bearish move that just hit target. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Our golden ruler does move down to 54.50. And our runner is at break even. We also triggered bullish down here as well. The runner just got taken out. So let's see what the market's going to do. When you have news at 9:45 and then news again at 10 o'clock, price tends to be a little choppy, a little uncertain. So we're going to be very cautious today at market open. And we'll go from there. We have about a little under a minute now before market opens. The bullish move worked. Let's go ahead and have our runner at break even. And let's delete some lines that are no longer valid. This is a bearish signal here, but false positive, and the market's gonna open in just about 3 seconds here, so we're just gonna keep an eye out. There it is. The bearish move worked. All right, let's delete some of the lines here. Was thinking about getting into it here at 550. This technically signaled higher. A little bit late on the trigger there, so I'm just gonna let this trade work and look for the next one. This purple dotted line, gray dotted line here, this is where we closed yesterday, so it could act as an area of resistance as well. But we technically just filled the gap. And you can see there's some profit taking in this area here. This was a target. And now you're in this false positive bearish move here. McDonald's at earnings today. Interesting. I'm guessing they killed it then. You know what's crazy about McDonald's? I go there from time to time. I do crave McDonald's from time to time. I know it's not good for you, but getting a value meal is like $9 or $10 now, which is crazy. I mean, back in the day, not even that long, we're talking like 10, 15 years ago, you can get that same value meal for like $4, $5, $6. It's crazy to me. Yeah, that's the funny thing about earnings, Doug. Sometimes it doesn't even have to hit target for it to go up or to go. And sometimes you have stocks that hit the targets out of the ballpark and they still go down. So earnings is typically a gamble, right? All right, we just made a new low, so our golden ruler does move down. And we did hit our target, so let's figure out where we are at the moment. Technically got that trigger down there. All right, the runner was taken out on that bullish move. You did trigger that bearish move. We're in between a lot of different moves here that we wouldn't have been able to take, so let's go ahead and just update our trend lines here, our larger trend lines. Keep this one. All right, the bearish move did work, and now we have a runner going to the downside. And now our golden ruler moves once more to the 50 level. Can you hear me okay today? Is the volume of my voice a lot better than yesterday? And can you also hear the music? Okay, I believe the runner has just been taken out right there. This was a signal up. We have the EMA above our heads, though. Haven't been able to get a really clean setup. Okay, the bullish signal, the bullish trade did work. Runner's at break even now. Okay, bearish signal here, but we have the 500 level underneath us, so false positive bearish signal. And you can see we're getting a little bit of a bounce here off 500. All right, the bearish move worked. But again, a lot of these setups have been very marginal. This is a bullish signal here, but we have that EMA was right there when it signaled. Did hit target though. It's interesting. Almost every signal we've gotten today has actually worked, but doesn't mean we should deviate from our rules, especially if you're looking to be consistent over the long run. All right, the runner is out. We can draw this downward trend line now. Delete this trend line. Adjust this trend line. All right, we're in the middle of two trades here. We have this bullish signal to go up and we have this bearish signal to come down. Again, inconsistency. This is exactly the type of price action I was alluding to earlier, because we have news in about 6 minutes. All right, our runner moves up. So does our golden ruler. Let me make some adjustments here. All right, our runner is out, so let's delete some lines. Again, going back to the gap area up above us where we closed yesterday is acting as resistance right now. This was a false positive bearish signal right here. And this is a bullish signal right here. All right, the bullish signal worked. The bearish signal stopped out. All right, the runner is done. This was a false positive bearish signal here. Looks like it does want to come down and hit its target. There it is. Runner's at break even. Runner is now down here at 39. Golden ruler moves up. Runner is still running. We did make a new low, so the golden ruler moves down again. Runner is at 24.50. Okay, runner moves down. Okay, runner is out. We did trigger higher here, but EMAs and the golden ruler was in the way, but we did hit the target. We got news in about 2 minutes. Okay, the runner is out. This might be a potentially... Well, I wanted it to close underneath the EMA, and this would have been a legit trigger to go down. Okay, it's news right now, 9:45. It's a yellow folder, so I don't expect the volatility to be anything crazy. All right, we had this bullish signal here that did hit target. We have a bearish signal here, but the runner is technically still running, and we have all that support underneath us. Runner is still running. My candles are frozen. I had this issue yesterday with NinZaRenko. Don't know what's going on. I might have to restart NinZaRenko again like I did yesterday. The good news is at least we're not in any trades right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart NinZaRenko. Yeah, that's true. At least I'm not in a trade. All right, let's restart NinZaRenko very quickly here. I don't know why it does that. It does that once in a blue moon, but the fact that it did it 2 days in a row is a little concerning. Okay, it's loading up all my charts. Give it about 2 minutes here and I'll be able to be back up and running. Okay, I think you guys can see my screen again. Let me fix that in Zoom. Okay. Well, we did miss this trade. It's unfortunate, but here it is. This is the trade we would have taken here for about 11 points. And the runner has been stopped out. So let's recap where we are. We might get another potential bullish signal here if we can get this candle to close above this trend line. And it does not. This might be a candle we can take higher if it can close above this trend line. There we go. Okay, I'm in. Might be a stop loss, yep. All right, our first trade, our first stop loss of the day. Now it looks like it wants to actually come up again. So let's try this again. All right, we're in. Almost there. We got... yeah, of course it hits target, right? That's okay. So we're 1 for 1. Technically, this trade just hit target. I was gonna say it's not over yet. Let me move my golden ruler. Runner is, where is my runner? We've lost all that stuff. Here's my runner. I think the runner, what is here? It's our upward trend line. Runner's moving up. All right, so we've taken 2 trades, 1 winner, 1 loser. And our runner, I believe, is out. So this was the bearish signal here, but we have the EMA underneath us. I'll get into it. See if we can... Might be another stop out here. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have got into it now that we almost hit that target. This is a bullish signal here, but we have that standard deviation and 650 in the way, so we can't take that higher. We do move up our golden ruler. And we are currently 1 win, 2 losses. That second trade honestly should not have been a trade, but it's okay, we make mistakes. All right, looks like it actually does want to hit target up there. There it is. Runner still running. Let's go ahead and fix that number next to the candlesticks. All right, runner is still running. We have news in about 6 minutes. I'm trying to see if we can come back down to 650 and get a bounce to go back up. That would be the ideal bullish scenario. Okay, the runner's out. I got my 9:55 alarm going off, which means we got 5 minutes till that 10 o'clock news. All right, we're reaching that zone that I want to take a trade off of to the upside. All right, let's see where this target is at. Right here. There it is. That one worked. So we're 2 for 2. The runner has been taken out. So do we make a new high? We did. Our golden ruler also moves up to that 50 zone, which means this is a false positive bearish signal here. And this is a bullish signal here. We have about 4 minutes till the news, so I'm just gonna potentially just sit on my hands. The runner is still running up. All right, let me reload my historical data just in case. Sometimes you have to do that when you're trading the tick charts. Okay. We have about 2 minutes till the news. This was the bearish signal here. Took out the runner as well. But we're going to wait till the news, I think, at this point. And that was the bullish signal here bouncing off that EMA. Our golden ruler moves up. Runner is at break even. Okay, we have news in about a minute. I know I keep saying news, but red folder events are typically very violent, very volatile. The runner is still running. We are approaching 700, which could be another area of resistance, potentially. Runner still hasn't been taken out. This is a false positive bearish signal here. Oh, there's the news. You see what I mean? The candle's very volatile. Very, very volatile. All right, so we are technically in this move up here, but golden ruler is holding. Yeah, because the candles are a little strange, like this huge hammer here. Immediate reversal, but immediate buying it back. I think the trend is, we're still in a bullish trend. You can zoom out and you can see that. I gotta draw a new upward trend line, which I believe is gonna look like this. Delete this line. When I set up my NinjaTrader account, Doug, which was, I want to say back in 2022, I believe you can only set it up as a cash account. I don't think you can trade like an IRA or anything like that in here because it's all just futures. But don't quote me on that. I'll have to do a little bit more research. But yeah, it was a cash account. Then you would link it to your bank, and via direct deposit you would fund said account. All right, so we have a runner on the bearish move. The bullish move did not work. It was that crazy candle that triggered. Let's delete some lines. Let's just see where we're at. The runner is still running to the downside. Yeah, you're thinking of margin versus cash, right? Is that what you're talking about when you're thinking of thinkorswim? Yeah, technically futures are traded on margin because you are taking $500 of buying power to trade one mini contract for the ES. But that same contract, if you were to trade it anywhere else, would require $15,000 of capital. So you're already RR margin when you're trading futures on NinjaTrader, which means you could potentially lose more than you put in. So just because a position will cost $500 to get in doesn't mean that's the max loss. It's not like an options contract where you only lose the maximum of the contract premium. Yeah, and I think maybe the better term is leveraged. Futures are leveraged. It's a leveraged instrument where you are using $500 to $1,000 of capital to mimic something that would normally cost $15,000 to $30,000 of capital. Yeah, well, I mean, the safeties with futures is they're highly liquid, and you're typically day trading your future positions. Some people do swing trade futures overnight, but they're using much smaller micros to do it. And so you see me, I put in my stop losses. Typically on any random position here, we are risking anywhere between $100 to $200 if it hits my stop loss appropriately, right? We're risking around $100 to $200 to make $100 to $200. But we're day trading it, right? So I don't want to say there's no way for me to lose more unless you have unless you have a very aggressive stop loss. But even then, that stop loss, worst case scenario, you might lose 2 or 3 times of what you were looking to risk. Now, if you were swing trading futures, then the risk tends to magnify. Okay, this might be a bullish signal here. See if we can get in. Well, it escaped us. It happened too fast. Our golden ruler slightly moves up. We're back at 700. So our runner did stop out. Let's get the runner out of the way. False positive bearish signal here. We have these 2 levels of support underneath us. I guess the most important thing about futures versus options that we need to discuss is you got to really understand how they work. And if you can understand how they work, you can manage your risk accordingly, right? Because if you don't quite understand the mechanics behind futures or options, then you're already at a huge disadvantage, right? And the good news is you already know, I know personally, you already know how options work, right? And you're just learning about futures. So yeah, the more you learn about futures, the better off you'll be. Now what's nice is if you do it in an environment with a prop firm, for example, worst case scenario, if you lose money, you blow up your account on a prop firm, you only lost like your initial subscription, which is about typically around $30 to $50, depending on what type of account size you're looking for. So that's one of the big advantages of trading in a prop firm, is if you can learn how to trade futures and you're not really risking a lot of capital to do it, which is what I recommend people do if they're looking to get into futures. And then once you get comfortable trading prop firms and you're taking out payouts and things like that, you use some of those payouts to actually fund your personal NinjaTrader account with your own money. That would be the roadmap that I would recommend people would follow. Yeah, and if you also have any other questions, feel free to email me or we can talk about it offline. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. Technically speaking, this was that bearish signal there, which just hit target, so. But we did technically get that signal earlier. Right now, we're not in any trade setup at the moment. False positive bearish signal here, but sellers are looking like they're very much in control. Yeah, I agree with that, Doug. I think you should start with paper trading, and NinjaTrader has excellent sim accounts you can use. Also, they have really good back testing tools as well, where you can simulate any day in real time and do it with paper trading. That's how I got my practice in, if you will. Okay, right now we're not in any trade. The bullish trade down here did end up hitting target. The runner has been taken out on the bullish side. We don't have a bearish trade yet. We do now, but it's false positive. We're just in a very, we got support underneath us, right? So a lot, you can see here, look, a lot of the bearish signals are not working. Yeah, and if you want a tutorial, Doug, on how to use the paper account or doing the back testing, I'd be more than happy to show that to you as well. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. When I first discovered that feature, I was really, I was like a kid at a candy store. I was really happy. Like, wow, we can actually practice this. This is amazing. False positive bearish signal here. 650 is the target. All right, there's that target hit right there. Runners at break even. Let's see if we break down some more. Looks like that's what the sellers are really wanting to do. And the bulls are trying to defend this level here. So this is a battle zone. And what's funny is the runner is technically still running. Because it just got tested here. And then we went back down. And the runner is still at the same spot. So let's see what happens here. All right, the runner's finally taken out. Question is, do we have room for this move to go higher? And the answer is no. We have this old trend line, and we have golden ruler above our heads. And there's that stop loss. See, this is where you're going to get a lot of chop. You got to sit on your hands when you see this kind of chop, because you're going to take a lot of stop losses if you take every single signal going your way. Okay, we got a false positive bearish signal here right at 650 going down. We also have a false positive bullish signal, so we have a lot of mixed signals right now. Bearish move did not work. The bullish move looks like it's pulling back. Yeah, this price action today has not been very, very good, to be honest with you. But we are navigating around it. We did miss 2 trades that would have worked. So we technically should be green right now, but we're only down 55 bucks. Not too bad. So you can see we're still in this bullish signal here. It hasn't hit target. Looks like it wants to do it now, maybe. There it is. Runners at break even right now. I would love for us to get out of this range. We can delete some of these lines now that are no longer valid. The runner has been taken out. I would love a strong bullish signal above golden ruler. I would take it higher. But it doesn't look like that's what we're going to get. It's retreating. This is a false positive bullish signal because it triggered underneath the trend line and the golden ruler. The golden ruler does move underneath us. You can see it didn't work. So rules are protecting us here. Now, if you zoom in, you could see this candle did close below this EMA. So this is a false positive bearish signal. All right, so that bearish move went down. Runner took it out. This triggered up, but we have all that resistance overhead. Actually, did we? Technically, no. Well, hold on. Did we? Where would have our trend line would have been like this? Yeah, this actually was a legitimate trigger to go higher. I'm glad I missed it, because it would have been a stop loss, but and then you had your bearish signal right here when we rejected 650, and then our runner is just got taken out here. And we have this trend line like this, and we are not currently in a trade right now. We do probably, I would imagine that bullish trade didn't work because you would have drawn this bigger trend line here that I probably should have drawn earlier, because you have a lower high, and then you would do the exact same thing here with this lower high as well. This is all right. Let's zoom in here and see what's going on. We might have already gotten a bullish signal, which I believe would have been that would have been a false positive. That would have been a false positive. And that would have actually been another false positive, because 650 is right above us, but it looks like that is the signal that the bulls decided to take. Hit target right there. Okay, so the runner is still running. We haven't gotten any clean setups, guys. I hope you're starting to see that. Like, There's a lot of look at back here during 10:15, 10 to 10:18. A lot of or even all the way here from 10:11. A lot of congestion, right? Runner just got taken out. So, and our golden ruler technically is all the way down here. So now I'm just waiting for a pullback and get a clean setup to go higher is what I'm waiting for. Or we can go to 700 and get a bearish signal to go down. Sort of whichever comes first. Or I'll be able to draw a micro downward trend line here. And if we can get a signal to go higher, I'll take it to test 700, right? So this is what it would look like. So this is your downward trend line. This is your signal candle. And this would be the candle that we take higher if it triggers. This is a very clean setup. And my stop loss would be at 77.50. All right, we got stopped out. I like that setup. It was actually clean. Didn't have anything in the way. But it didn't work, and that's okay. So we are currently... We have another setup now, but look at this candle. This candle's a lot bigger, and 700 would get in the way. So I can't take it if it triggers higher. Golden ruler does move up though. So we are 2 winners and 3 losers. Not ideal, but not bad. We're just like 1 or 2 trades away from being green. This did trigger lower, but was false positive because of that EMA. Right there, you can see that we're bouncing off that EMA. We have golden ruler above our heads now. Now golden ruler moves back down to 67. This bullish trade did work, but it was in the middle of that bearish trade. Runner is up at 85.50. Runner is at 90, 92 now. We just touched 700. Do we get a bearish signal lower? No, we can get a continuation higher. And the runner is still running. We'll most likely be switching to the Renko in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Runner is still running. Doug, that is correct on the Renko. I am risking 4 to make 8 on the Renko, but when it comes to trading the tick chart, I am using the size of the signal candle. So sometimes my losers are going to be bigger than my winners, and sometimes my winners are going to be bigger than my losers, which is a little unfortunate when it comes to the math, but I do have a much higher win rate on the trading the tick charts. They're in the 70 to 80% range. And so the math still works out because my win rate is so high. Whereas when I'm trading the Renko, my win rate is like 50 to 60%. And so having a 2 reward 1 risk ratio on the Renko makes it a lot easier for me to be profitable. So the false positive bearish signal here. Looks like it's going to work. At the end of the day, you want to be trading a system that gives you an edge in the market, even though it's not going to work out every time. Remember, this is a game of probability. And if you can have either more winners than losers, or if your winners are bigger than your losers, both of those things will give you an edge, right? And if your system works more often than not, we're still technically on that bearish runner that hasn't been taken out yet. This is a false positive bullish signal here. Runner's been taken out, so let me get the runner out of the way. And now this is the bearish signal there. This would be a false positive bullish signal because we have 700 in the way. It didn't trigger yet. It triggered right there. So let's look at this candle, for example, Doug. This is how much am I risking on this candle here? I'm risking about a little over 9 points. If you add the extra, maybe closer to 10 if you add an extra point of buffer underneath it. I'm risking about 10 points to make 9 or 10 points to make 8. But it's based on the size of this signal candle here. So it varies from candle to candle depending on what your signal candle, the size of your signal candle. And so sometimes if I see that a signal candle is way too big, I either don't take it or I look for a potential pullback to minimize my risk, or I lower my contract size to make sure that my risk is typically around that $100 to $200 mark. Now in this case, we wouldn't have taken this bullish signal here higher because 700 is a potential area of resistance. You can see we're having a hard time trying to get above it, and there's that stop loss right there. So you got to combine how much you're risking with context, with overall market trend, with key areas of support and resistance. There's so many things that you're putting together. To make sure that you're, from a probabilistic perspective, the move's going to work in the long run. So here, if we were taking this, I gave it a 1.25 wiggle room. Notice we went down to a point. If it went down one more tick, it would have stopped us out if we were actually in this trade, but it didn't. It came up and it actually hit target. And the reason why I give it a 1.25 of a wiggle room is because sometimes due to the volatility of the Nasdaq, the NQ, you want to give it just a little bit more wiggle room in case it wants to retest a certain area, like your stop loss, and not take you out and potentially continue higher. Okay, our runner's been taken out. I believe our golden ruler is still all the way down at 67. Because we have a lower high here, I am going to be drawing this trend line as well. This is a false positive bullish trade because we closed right under 700. If we were literally a tick above it, I would have taken this and we can go up for about 10 points. All right, there's that target right there. I know my rules are very strict, but they're there for a reason. So the runner's been taken out. It hit its target. And now you have a false positive bearish signal here. But you have this trend line in the way. Switching over to the Renko just to see what it looks like. I think I kind of like what it's doing. I think we might transition to the Renko now. So we traded on the 1024 tick chart. We 2 winners, 3 losers. Not a good win rate. We did miss 2 winners though, just because either we weren't paying attention or we were paying attention. It happened too fast. Or if you guys remember, NinZaRenko did freeze on me and we missed that one trade as well. So we'll switch over to the Renko for now. Switch our ATM strategy so we're not trading 5 minis by accident. And then I need to make sure I have the right group set up here. So we're looking to get a bounce off 700 if we get it. We don't get it, we cancel it. And as my good friend Doug alluded to earlier, we are only risking about 4 to make 8 using this strategy. We're looking for key levels to bounce off of. So right now, I'm looking for it to come back up to this T line potentially give me a reversal setup that we can take to go back down. All right, we're in bearish. So you can see once I have it set so that once it goes past 5 points, I have it automatically move me to break even with a trailing stop loss. That typically helps me with managing if the price decides to move up like this and take, see there's, that would have been a stop loss right there. We're back in. And then we get a better entry here to go back down. Again, we're risking 4 to make 8. At this point though, I'm noticing this little pattern here. This little uptrend, so that's why those trades probably didn't work. Now I wanted to come down to 700 and give me a bounce. That's my next area of interest. So what the Renko is really good at doing is showing you where these reversals are happening, because you could see the direction change a lot clearer on this type of candlestick chart. And if you guys aren't familiar with what the Renko is, essentially a new candle, but they're called bricks. They look like little bricks that are getting layered on top of each other, right? They're only going to form if price continues to move in that direction. If they don't, if they're getting stuck, you can see here, they kind of have a harder time. And so what the Renko is really good at doing because of that is showing you momentum and showing you where price gets stuck. And now you can see price is not stuck. We're moving up. You can see that reversal here. So ideally what I'd like for price to come down and do is come down to this dotted red line area. This is what's known as a T line. This is actually a signal. And we take that trade higher here. So that was a stop loss. We lost about maybe 80 bucks on that trade. But notice this is where it wanted to reverse. And now the next area of interest is probably going to be 700. I missed it. See if it wants to come down and get us. I probably shouldn't have taken this trade though, because we do have that T line in the way. So now I wanted to come back down to the T line, test it, and we can go back up. But notice we didn't get a reversal there. Yeah, see, there's the bricks right there. So my order would be sitting right there if we want to go. There it is. Terrible fill, by the way. My God, the fill was supposed to be down here, not up here. It happened just so fast. I might just cancel this order and see if I can get a better fill. Well, See if it goes back up. Because here I'm risking more than 4 points, unfortunately. There we go. Okay, so this one's going to work, at least for some profit. My other trades got stuck, so I went ahead and canceled that one. But yeah, we should have gotten in right there at 925 plus 8 would have been 1725. So we would have gotten the 8 points had we actually gotten the entry we were looking for. Now guess what? I'm looking for the exact same setup again. I wanted to come down to this T line and give us a little bit of a bounce, and we take it. Do we get the bounce? Nope. Cancel it. I want the bounce to happen. I want to see how these bricks formed underneath the T line. I'm not interested in that bounce anymore because we broke through the area of interest that I was looking to take the bounce higher on. Normally this would be the bounce here that I would take off 700, but the T line's in the way of my 8 points. You can see when I tried to do it here, I got stopped out. This time I think it would have worked. All right. And you can see we're kind of stuck. We were stuck. Now it's good. We're pushing through the T line. I would love a pullback on the T line. We can continue going higher. That's funny, Doug. So our next area of interest is going to be up here at 750 and then 759. This was an entry. I missed it. Damn it. Excuse my language. You can see here, came back down to the T line. Boom, bounce up, right? And what's nice about this system too is that you kind of know where your next potential entry is going to be. Like I've already pointed it out to you guys. I said it's either going to be down at the T line or it'll be up here at 750. Now 750 would be more of a bearish setup if we get a retest of 750 and we get a signal to go lower. But since we're in an uptrend, I would just prefer it keeps coming back down to the T line and giving us signals to go back higher. Okay, that one didn't work. This one might work though. Okay, 2 stop losses in a row does kind of stink. So now our next area of interest is going to be 700. And that stinks, that didn't work either. And sometimes you're going to get in this. I mean, I know this is where the key bounces are supposed to occur, right? That one just took me out for break even. Let's just see what it wants to do at this point. Okay, notice we didn't get the bounce there, and it just went. Now we put on our bearish hat. We're looking for it to test 700 and for us to go down. All right, now we cancel. Never got. Bearish signal here. Took us out. Now we're switching to sort of the bullish mode again. And you're going to see, once you start getting in a streak of winners, it'll erase a lot of the losers. Just sucks that a lot of our trades have unfortunately been losing trades. Notice we didn't get a bounce anywhere near here, so we couldn't take the bounce off the T line. We're back at 700 though. I didn't take the bounce here because the T line's in the way. Yeah, it's, think of it like a trampoline effect and which direction of the trampoline's going to hit. And if it's a inverse trampoline, like here, we're going down, right? I want it to come back up a little bit and give me that bearish signal to go back down. And it could just go straight down now, but I'm not counting on that. There it is, but... So now I wanted to come back up to 700, give me a few sort of bullish bars here that test 700, and then we get a failure going down. This is a bearish signal off the T line, but 700's in the way. So can't take this one bearish. I can't take this one bullish because the T line's in the way. Very, very tight. So just have to let these go. And you can see the price action is not exactly great, right? We're not really flowing. We're kind of just stuck in this chop, right? When price action is flowing, the Renko becomes a dream because typically almost every signal you take just goes to target and it does it quickly. Our next area of interest now is going to be all the way down here at the standard deviation level at 57. Or it can come back up to 700 and fail. Those are my two potential areas of interest. Or it can go up to the T line and fail as well. Okay, it didn't fail the T line. Now we're looking bullish. Isn't that crazy? Like it just decided to change its tone all of a sudden. And now I'm looking for a bounce off 700 to go higher. I missed it. Okay. See if we can get another potential area of bounce right there. See if it wants to go up. Man, Renko is being kind of a pain today. See if we can get back in here if it wants to bounce up. There it is. Okay, so that one worked. So now I wanted to come back down to the T line. We can potentially get a bounce up to go higher again. Okay, let's see if we got a bounce there. Okay. I missed that anyway. Let's see if we can come back down. Get a bounce. Okay, can't take it now. This would have been the ideal bounce to take, but we had the T line in the way. It's a very easy and straightforward system. And when it works, it works very fast, and you're able to hit your goals in a very short amount of time. And this is great if you're only looking to trade for, you know, an hour or so. Okay, it's coming back to that T line. Let's see if we get a bounce here. I actually wanted to touch the T line. Okay, no longer a trade anymore. It's not a viable trade because we're now below the T line. Now we're looking to potentially test 700 again. We're in. It stinks when you just gets you right in and it stops you right out. Now we're actually more bearish mindset now. I'm looking for it to come to 700 and fail. Okay, we're not going to reverse anymore because we're now above the 700. So now I'm looking for it to pull back and go back up. It didn't touch the T line, but this one looks like it wants to work. Might get another chance at it here. This was the signal here. Okay, we got stopped out. See if we got the signal here. Guys, I won't lie to you, this is really frustrating. It's not supposed to fail this many times. That's not supposed to fail either. Like, this is straight frustration right now. Yeah. Oh boy. All right, we're looking for a bearish signal here. Not anymore. It's closed above 700. We're right at 700. Trying to go bearish here. Not anymore. Okay. Okay, not anymore. Bearish signal here if we get it. Okay, we're in bearish. Almost hit my 8 points. Come on, there you go. All right. Our first winner in like a long time. See if we can get another bearish signal up here at 700 again. Okay, never mind on that bearish. Now we're transitioning to bullish. Okay, never mind on that bullish now. Looking for it to test 700 and we can get a failure. Not anymore. Just pushed right through it. See if we can get a bullish bounce here. We did not. I'm zooming out to see where price is trying to go. Potentially this level here. But it just went. It's testing it, but it went right through it. I missed this. This is the bounce off the standard deviation level. Oh, happened way too fast. I don't know what happened there. It gave me an error and then it got me out. Okay, price is really confused, guys. Or maybe I'm the one who's confused. It's just like nothing is working right now. Nope. Okay, that one worked. Great. Okay, we're trying to get that bounce. It didn't happen. Now we're looking for a reversal bounce. I wanted us to actually touch the standard deviation level. We didn't. $650 is our next area of interest if we keep going down. See if we get a failure here at... There we go, we're in bearish. It's not working. Okay. Don't want to take this bearish, we have standard deviation in the way. I don't want to take this bullish, we have T-line in the way, so. Okay, we're back on a bullish sort of mindset, bias, whatever you want to call it. If you can come back to the T line, we get a bounce up. That would be ideal. Bulls are really trying here. Okay, it worked. Potential bounce area here at the T line if we can get it. Okay, we didn't get that reversal. Now I'm looking for a bullish reversal here. Okay, that one worked. Would love for it to come back down to 700 and give us another opportunity to do exactly that. But I can understand if it wants to keep going higher. Okay, we're approaching 750. That would be my next area of interest. See if we can come back to the T line and maybe get a bounce up here. Okay, we are approaching 750. Okay, we're approaching the T line. I would love to see a bounce set up here. Didn't want to see it happen until we actually touched the T line, which is a little unfortunate. You get these reversals before it comes down to your actual key level, but we might get another opportunity here. Let's just see. Okay, that was a bearish signal. Terrible fill, but let's see what happens. Going bearish here. Okay, we have it at least at break even. Would love the move to continue. It did not. See if we get that reversal higher here. We did not. And bearish. I guess what's been really frustrating with the Renko today is that it's had zero follow through on the triggers. Zero. This is another bearish trigger. Notice it goes down and it's just floating right there. It doesn't want to actually go down, which is really frustrating. This was a bullish signal. Again, like I need the follow through. If you're going to change directions, if you're going to reverse, you need momentum, in that direction. This one looks like it wants to do it, but it's hesitating. And that's been really the theme for today's price action. Okay, keep going. We're almost there. We were a tick off from 8 points. That stinks. We got maybe 3 points off that trade. Okay, we cancel this. There's that bullish signal. Would love some continuation. We don't get it. Seems to be the theme for today. I added a little bit here. Okay, so that was good. We're going to take it one trade at a time. The math works in your favor in the long run. The most important thing is to be patient, to not go on tilt. And to take it one trade at a time. Ideally now I wanted to come back down to the T lane. We can go back up. I will be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So our next two areas of interest in either direction is either 800 or 756, which is the T line, right? So we're waiting for price to get back to either of those zones and see how it behaves. Okay, we're waiting for price to come down here to the T line. Or for the T line to catch up to the price, whichever comes first. And price is kind of just stuck going sideways. I think it's because we're approaching lunchtime. We do have news at 1 o'clock that is orange. President Trump is going to speak, so that could create some potential volatility in the market. I think I'm going to take a break in 3 minutes for lunch. I will be coming back after 1 o'clock and trade. I will go ahead and stream that as well. And I'm hoping that we get some more volume in the market so that price action is improved considerably. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and take that 1 hour break, and I'll see you guys. Hold on, we might be getting a setup here. Let's see if we do get this set up. Okay. Okay. We got a setup only to get stopped out. That's just wonderful. Let's see if we can get another setup here. Okay, we got like maybe 2 or 3 points on that. Might be getting another setup here. Okay, we're in. Would love for this trade to work. Be a nice way to go into lunch. Okay, well, we tried. I'll go ahead and see you guys in about an hour. I'll talk to you guys then. Have a good one.